This episode of Marijuana Today Daily is brought to you by our friends over at Curaleaf, one of the nation's top multi-state cannabis operators with 44 local dispensaries, 12 cultivation sites, and 11 processing facilities, serving up more than 150,000 registered medical marijuana patients. Learn more about all the cool things Curaleaf is up to over at curaleaf.com, spelled C-U-R-A-L-E-A-F. Good morning, Marijuana Nation. It's Friday, May 24th, 2019, and you're tuned in to episode 729 of Marijuana Today Daily. I'm your host, Shay Gunther, and I'll be walking you through today's marijuana news and headlines. As always, we have a full and busy day of cannabis news in our hands, so let's jump right into it. We start off the end of the week in New Jersey, where yesterday the state assembly voted 65-5 in favor of a bill that will significantly expand the state's medical marijuana program. If passed into law, the legislation would increase the number of medical marijuana business licenses and would shift control of the system away from the Department of Health and to a specially created regulatory commission. The bill will need to survive a trip through the state Senate before it could be taken up for consideration by Governor Phil Murphy, who is a noted supporter of legal marijuana and is expected to sign the legislation readily. Jeff Smith over at Marijuana Business Daily is reporting that the state Senate could take up discussions on the bill by the end of this month. In Massachusetts, that state's Cannabis Control Commission voted yesterday to approve the state's first sale of a legal marijuana dispensary. Sierra Naturals got the green light to sell itself to Cannabis Strategies Acquisition Corporation after the commission took a week to go over documents detailing the company's ownership structure. There's been some industry intrigue in Massachusetts over various multi-state cannabis operators, allegedly using backroom management deals to secure more than the 3 operating licenses allowed any one entity. So that colored things a bit here. Kyle Yeager over Marijuana Moments has our final top story of the day and the week with his scoop up of news out of Washington, D.C., where the Senate voted yesterday in favor of a bill providing emergency insurance coverage for farmers in the wake of natural disasters that includes language protecting growers of industrial hemp. The Federal Crop Insurance Corporation gives insurance coverage to farmers and is this year for the first time adding in industrial hemp to the list of crops covered. If approved by the House and signed into law, the coverage will spool up starting in 2020. A good story to read in full. As always, we have all the news we cover linked to on our website at mjtodaydaily.com. Those are our top stories for today. It's time for Marijuana Today Daily Headlines Blitz. Before we blitz out on headlines, let's quickly thank our sponsor, Curaleaf, one of the nation's top multi-state cannabis operators with 44 local dispensaries, 12 cultivation sites, and 11 processing facilities, serving up more than 150,000 registered medical marijuana patients. Visit Curaleaf.com with Curaleaf spelled C-U-R-A-L-E-A-F and dive into learning all that you can about this very cool and fast-growing company, including more about Curaleaf the stock, which now trades up on the Canadian Securities Exchange under the symbol CURA. Since the company is operated largely in states mandating vertical integration, it's had the opportunity to get good at the entire legal marijuana supply chain, from cultivation through harvest, processing, packaging, and dispensing. Curaleaf does it all. With 3 main retail lines of products with Curaleaf Medical Marijuana, Curaleaf Hemp, and Yuku Craft Cannabis, Curaleaf also has the entire range of cannabis consumers covered. One more time, just open up Curaleaf.com to learn more and to find the closest Curaleaf shop to you. That's Curaleaf.com. All right, time for the Blitz. Kyle's back with another good pickup over at Marijuana Moments. This time he has a video showing 69-year-old grandmother Hester Burkhalter being arrested at Disney's Magic Kingdom in Florida because she had a small vial of CBD oil in her purse. I reported on this one last month when it happened, but the video was just released this week. Watch this one, share this one, get mad at this one. California-based marijuana company MedMen just drew $80 million US of investment funds from its previously announced deal with Gotham Green Partners, which is extending a total of $250 million in all in secured convertible credits to MedMen. A new study by researchers at the University of British Columbia suggests that having THC metabolites in your blood does not increase your chances of suffering a traffic-related accident. Researchers pored over thousands of records of traffic accidents that happened in British Columbia between the years 2010 and 2016 and found that drivers with less than 5 nanograms of THC metabolites per milliliter of blood experienced no more or less accidents than drivers with 0 nanograms. And even those with more than 5 showed a statistically non-significant change. With his third headline of the day, Kyle Yeager's back with a story about a piece of major immigration legislation passed by a U.S. House committee on Wednesday that would afford protections for people who were brought into the United States illegally as children from being denied permanent residency simply because they have a low-level marijuana crime on their records. The bill, widely known as the DREAM Act, was passed on Wednesday out of the House Judiciary Committee and has a trip through the House Rules Committee to get through before it can be taken up by the House at large. Assuming it's able to make its way out of the House, the bill still faces a run through the Senate, which is controlled by the racist Republican Party, so we'll see how the bill's form evolves there. The National Football League and the NFL Players Association are forming what they are calling a joint pain management committee to examine the use of painkillers and other anti-pain medication by professional football players. The committee is not specifically looking at the issue of medical cannabis use to treat pain within the league, but it will be a topic that is studied and considered. The NFL itself is a pretty rotten company when it comes to protecting its players' health, but the fact that the Players Association is involved inspires a little hope that something real could come from this. News 4 NBC Washington State has a story up about tests they ran using field drug tests commonly used during roadside police stops and found that the tests are unable to differentiate between THC and CBD. They also discovered that most forensic labs being used by law enforcement are not able to tell you how much THC is in a given sample of cannabis. That's important when there are laws using THC percentage to differentiate between legal and illegal cannabis. And finally for today, we wrap up this week's news up here in my corner of the country here in Maine, where yesterday a public hearing was held on the matter of how the state is rolling out its legal adult use sales program. Voters in Maine passed legal adult use via ballot measure back in 2016, and the state has dragged its heels in implementing it, mostly because of obstructionist and regressive former Republican Governor Paul LePage, who was able to stall things in office thanks to equally regressive and obstructionist Republican lawmakers. The public meeting held yesterday in Portland drew in more than 100 people who shared their thoughts on the proposed plan for adult use with members of the Maine Office of Marijuana Policy. The window for public comment on the proposed system ends on June 2nd, which will precede the state legislature finalizing all rules and regulations. Pop over to Maine Public for all the details here. Those are our headlines and news for the day. I'll be back with you again on Tuesday morning with another information-packed episode of Marijuana Today Daily. But in the meantime, if you have any stories to share or feedback to give, zip us an email to headlines@mjtodaydaily.com. And while you're clicking around the interwebs, swing over to our Twitter account at mjtodaydaily and visit our website at mjtodaydaily.com to find links to all the news we cover. Thanks to our sponsor, Cureleaf, and to all of our awesome Patreon listeners for the support that makes this show possible. To join the illustrious ranks of the Patreon listeners yourself, swing over to our website at mjtodaydaily.com and click on that big blue button at the top of the page that says Become a Patron. I'm your host, Shay Gunther. Thanks for tuning in and starting your day with marijuana today.
One take, Shay. One take.